Okay, let's start. Good afternoon. Today we're gonna do reinforce about Unit 5, okay? Time to eat, okay? We have to do conversation first and then continue with other activities and share my sound, okay?
Jill and Rick are talking at a party.
Oh, what's up, Rick? What do you think about these burgers?
They're pretty good. Most of the food at this party is excellent. Have a steak. They're great.
Oh, you like beef a lot. You have two burgers and a steak on your plate.
I'm a huge beef eater.
I don't eat much beef. I prefer fruit. I'm crazy about mangoes. I eat 2 or 3 mangoes every day.
Mangoes are okay.
Fruit is good for you, but beef is not very healthy.
Beer is not healthy either. Should I put down my bottle?
No, not at all. Have a few more bottles of beer. It's free.
The mangoes are free too. Eat up.
Good idea. There are some more mangoes in the kitchen, right?
I believe so, but can we go in the kitchen?
I guess so. Let's hurry. There isn't a lot of food left. Meet me at the bar in 15 minutes.
Okay, practice. Choose the correct answer to complete the dialogue. I put a sum in my screen. Okay. This is a conversation. I love pears. I eat a couple of pears every day. I love pears. Yo amo las peras, dice. Yo como un par de peras todos los días. And then you have to answer this. What is the answer? I love them too. I'm crazy about meat. Not. This is not correct. Pears are okay. I don't eat much fruit. Las peras están bien, pero no como mucha fruta. This is a correct answer. Mangoes are better than pears. Los mangos son mejores que las peras. Not. Is not correct. This. Okay. Practice. Oh. Letter B. Really? Yes. I love pears. I eat a couple of pears every day. Pears are okay. I don't eat much fruit. Really? What do you eat then? ¿Qué es lo que tú comes entonces? Broccoli is good for your health? No, that's not correct. I eat at this restaurant twice a week. This is not correct also. I eat a lot of meat. I'm sorry, I eat a lot of meat. Beef is my favorite. Do you eat vegetables? I eat broccoli and carrots sometimes. Dice, ¿tú comes vegetales? Yo como broccoli y zanahorias a veces. A veces. I usually have yogurt is not correct. And I love bread and pasta too is not correct. The correct is I eat broccoli and carrots sometimes. Okay, right. Contents. Next. Reading.
Are you sick of dieting?
Reading. Eat more and lose weight. Comer más y perder peso, dice, ¿no? Are you sick of dieting to lose weight? Good news. Michael Montaigne, in his book, The French Diet, says the type of food is more important than the amount of food. He divides all foods into two groups, good and bad. It sounds easy, right? You don't even need to exercise too much. The good foods like vegetables, cereals, and pasta release sugar into the blood more slowly. They also stop the body from keeping fat. You should avoid potatoes, candy, and the white flour. Not everyone agrees, but it is a very interesting idea, especially for food lovers. Practice. Practice A. Fill in the blanks with the correct forms of the words provides. Word bank, wait, diet, divide, release, and agree. I'm a kind of fat should I go on a diet. He always agrees with his wife. He doesn't like to argue with her. The river goes through the city and divides it into two parts. The weight of this cart is around 1,200 kilograms. The air is bad in this area. This factory releases a lot of smoke into the air. Practice B. Okay, listen, and then you have to answer.
Are you sick of dieting to lose weight? Good news! Michel Montagnac, in his book The French Diet, says the type of food is more important than the amount of food. He divides all foods into two groups, good and bad. It sounds easy, right? You don't even need to exercise too much. The good foods, like vegetables, cereals, and pasta, release sugar into the blood more slowly. They also stop the body from keeping fat. You should avoid potatoes, candy, and white flour. Not everyone agrees, but it is a very interesting idea, especially for food lovers.
The book The French Diet teaches people to lose weight by eating the right foods. This is true or false? It's true. The book The French Diet teaches people to lose weight by eating the right foods. True. How much you eat is more important than what you eat? False. How much you eat is more important than what you eat? Is false. According to Michael Montagnac, good foods don't have any sugar. False. False. People should eat less potatoes and candy. True. Everybody agrees with Michael Montagnac ideas. False. Not everybody agree. Okay, this is a review. Okay, please, you have to pay attention here because you need for your test. Okay, you need to pay attention. All pay attention. Oh no, I'm so sorry. Okay, right. Okay.
Hi, I'm Jeff. Welcome to Outstanding, Book 2, Unit 5. Today's topic is time to eat, and I'm getting hungry just thinking about it. Oh. Here are some questions to get your mouth watering. What's your favorite food? Do you have a healthy diet? How can a person follow a healthy diet? Do you know anything about the food pyramid? Don't you wish you could eat junk food every day? Pizza for breakfast, hamburgers for lunch, and ice cream for dinner? Sounds good, right? No. Sadly, following such a diet is a very bad idea. Now here we have the word diet. The word diet refers to the things that we usually eat. And even though it does sound like a lot of fun, eating a junk food diet would be very unhealthy. Unhealthy. What does that word mean? Well, the word unhealthy describes something that is bad for us. Yes, something that is unhealthy is bad for our bodies. And if we were to follow such an unhealthy diet of pizza, burgers, and ice cream, our bodies would be very unhealthy. And we'd pretty much have to visit the doctor all the time. And who wants to do that? No. We all want to be healthy. We all want to be in good health. And the way to stay in good health and to keep our bodies healthy is to follow a healthy diet. And by healthy, I mean good for our body. Okay, so by healthy, of course, I'm just talking about things that are good for us. Healthy foods are good for us and good for our bodies. But how can we start a healthy diet, or how can we start following a healthy diet? Well, the answer is to follow something called the food pyramid. A food pyramid is a triangle-shaped chart with recommended amounts of the food that you should eat every day. The food you can eat more of is at the bottom, and the food you should eat less of is at the top. I sure do love to eat. So let's start at the bottom of the food pyramid with a group, or food group I should say, called grains. Grains are foods like bread, pasta, cereal, and rice. The good news is that the grains food group is at the bottom of the food period. And this means that you can eat more of everything from this group. You can eat tons of grains. In fact, the recommendation is to eat 6 to 11 servings of grains a day. So eat up, everyone. Oh, by the way, the phrase eat up means go ahead and eat, don't worry. Now, the second biggest food group is the vegetable food group. Vegetables, by the way, are plants you can eat. And vegetables usually include things like broccoli, carrots, potatoes, onions, so on and so forth. Now, not everyone likes to eat their vegetables, but you really should, as vegetables are very healthy. Carrots, for example, are good for your eyes. Now, back to the food pyramid. According to the food pyramid, we should eat 2 to 5 servings of vegetables every day. Okay, moving on. The next food group we come to as we go up the food pyramid is fruit. Now, what is fruit? Well, fruits are things like apples, bananas, pears. You get the idea. And get this, you can eat 2 to 4 servings of fruit a day. Yay! Now, we should be careful to eat less of the foods that are higher and higher up on the food pyramid. Let's talk about a couple of these types of foods. In the dairy products food group, we find things like yogurt, ice cream, and cheese. Dairy, by the way, is any product made of milk, like the ones I just mentioned. Now, dairy isn't too bad for you in small amounts, and it can be quite tasty or delicious, but still, you shouldn't eat so much dairy, or you shouldn't ingest too much dairy. The food pyramid recommends 2 to 3 servings a day of dairy products. Also, beware of the next food group.
Okay. Here we have key facts. A healthy diet helps to protect against malnutrition in all its forms, as well as non-communicable diseases, including such as diabetes, heart disease, stroke, and cancer. Unhealthy diet and the lack of physical activity are leading global risk to health. Right. Healthy dietary practices start early in life. Breastfeeding fosters healthy growth and improves cognitive development and may have longer-term health benefits such as reducing the risk of becoming overweight or obese and developing later in life. Energy intake calories should be in a balance with energy expenditure to avoid unhealthy weight gain. Total fat should not exceed 30% for total energy intake. 1, 2, 3. Intake of saturated fats should be less than 10% of total energy intake, and intake of trans fats less than 1% of total energy intake, with a shift in fat consumption away from saturated fats and trans fats to unsaturated fats 3, and towards the goal of eliminating industrially produced trans fats 4, 5, 6.
i.e. the meat and beans group. Now let's talk about meat. Meat is the part of animals that we eat, okay? Meat is the flesh of an animal that we use as food or that we eat. Now, meat can have all sorts of different names depending on what animal it comes from. For example, meat from a cow is called beef, while meat from a pig is known as pork. Meat coming from a sheep or coming from sheep is called mutton, and food that comes from chicken, well, we call that chicken. Seafood is what we call anything that comes from the sea. And yes, seafood can refer to fish, shrimp, clams, oysters. You get the idea. Also in the meat and beans food group are beans, okay? Beans are seeds that are eaten like vegetables. And there are so many different kinds of beans out there. So many. There are black beans, red beans, green beans. Oh, there are so many. Now you can eat 2 to 3 servings of meat and beans every day. Finally, at the top of the food pyramid, we find the oils. Now here we're talking about oils. Oils are thick liquids from plants or animals that are used in cooking. Examples include vegetable oil and olive oil. Now you have to be very careful about cooking when using oil. If you use too much oil, it's not healthy for you. And yes, using too much oil when you cook makes you gain weight. Now here we have the word gain. If you gain weight, it means that you get heavier or you get fatter. And yes, when we're talking about oils, you should only eat foods with oil once a day. Now looking at the food pyramid, we can also practice describing food by using adjectives. Adjectives often end in the letter Y, such as the words pretty or crazy. Now it's easy to form adjectives, especially when we're talking about food. Just think about mangoes. Ooh, mangoes are just filled with juice. And that's why we can say that mangoes are juicy. They also taste good, so they are tasty. As you know, mangoes are also good for your health, so we can say that they are also healthy. Other examples of adjectives like this include the words oily and salty. One note, I actually don't like mangoes, but they are juicy. Some people think they're tasty, and a lot of people do say that they are healthy. Well, everyone, don't go away, as later in the unit, we'll be looking at how you can eat more and still lose weight. And yes, if you lose weight, you get thinner. Can you believe it? Huh? Eat and still lose weight? Amazing. Anyways, folks, stay tuned. But for now, it's conversation time.
Okay, the next. That you have to learn about pyramid of foods, okay? Pyramid of foods. One moment, only. One moment. Okay. Okay, here we have food pyramid. Food pyramid. We have plates with food. And then in the food pyramid, representation of the number of servings to be eaten each day from each of the basic food groups. The first pyramid was published in Sweden. Right. The World Health Organization, in conjunction with the Food and Agriculture Organization, published guidelines that can be effectively represented in a food pyramid relating to objectives in order to prevent obesity, improve nutrition, chronic disease, and dental caries based on meta-analysis. How they represent it as a table rather than as a pyramid structure is similar in some respects to USDA food pyramid, but there are clear distinctions between types of fats and a more dramatic distinction where carbohydrates we have in here, are categorized on the basis of free sugar versus sugars in their natural from some food substances. Okay, are singled out due to the impact on the target issues that the pyramid is meant to address in a later revision. However, some recommendations are omitted as they automatically follow over recommendations, while other subcategories are added. The reports quoted here explain that where there is no started lower limit in the table below, in this table, there is no requirement for that nutrient in diet. In here we have bread, cereal, rice, and pasta group. This is one group. 6 to 11 servings. You can serve 6 to 11 portions. In here we have a fruit group, 2 or 4 servings of fruit. And in this group we have vegetable that you can serve 3 or 5 servings. In here we have two groups, in this flat, two groups, meat, poultry, fish, dry beans, eggs, nuts group. You can eat 2 or 3 servings a day. Milk and yogurt, cheese group in this, dairy products. There are dairy products, 2 or 3 servings, portions of a day. And in the last one, fats, oils, and sweets. In here we have fats, oil, and sweets. Use sparingly, only a little bit, only a little, few, only few portions. Not 1 or 2 or 3, only a little, because sugar is not healthy for you, for your body, for your organism. Bien, hablamos de la pirámide alimenticia, que tenemos diferentes pisos, ¿no? En los cuales aquí se encuentra el pan, los cereales, encontramos los carbohidratos, ¿sí? Podemos tomar de 6 a 11 porciones al día de esto, porque estos nos dan energía. Acá tenemos las frutas y los vegetales. De los vegetales podemos comer de 2 a 4 porciones diarias y del grupo de las frutas de 2 a 4 porciones diarias y de los vegetales de 3 a 5 porciones diarias. En este piso tenemos la carne, el pescado, los granos secos, los huevos, las nueces y podemos servirnos de 2 a 3 porciones al día. Acá junto a este tenemos la leche, el yogur, los lácteos en general, dairy products. El queso, el grupo de los quesos, mantequillas, no margarina, ¿sí? No confundamos, porque la mantequilla sale de los productos lácteos y de la leche. La margarina no. Entonces podemos tomar de 2 a 3 porciones al día. Y en la punta de la pirámide tenemos los aceites, ¿sí? Las grasas y los caramelos, entonces, y los dulces, caramelos, chocolates, etcétera, chocolates azucarados, porque usted sabe que un chocolate amargo ya no pertenecería a este grupo. ¿Sí? Ahora, ¿en qué grupo pertenecería? Yo supongo que está en el de acá de los cereales, ¿no? Porque el chocolate amargo no engorda, es el azúcar y sus combinaciones lo que le hace a uno daño. Ok, bien. Ahora voy con lo siguiente.
Jill and Rick are talking at a party.
Ese ya lo vimos. Ese ya lo vimos. El grammar. Vamos a hacer una revisión del grammar. ¿Sí? Rapidita.
Welcome back, everyone. For the grammar section today, we are talking about nouns. That's right, nouns. These words talk about any person, place, or thing. Nouns cover a lot. Teacher, classroom, and book are all nouns, as are dogs, airport, and desk. We'll begin with count nouns, or nouns that can be counted.
Remember, nouns son los sustantivos, ¿ya? Nouns son los sustantivos. Y tenemos algunos ejemplos, ¿no? Aquí, por ejemplo, tenemos dogs, airport, and desk. Son algunos de los sustantivos, ¿no? ¿Cuáles son los sustantivos? Hay sustantivos comunes y los sustantivos propios, ¿verdad? Y
dogs,
conocen
airport,
eso, ¿no?
and desk. We'll begin with count nouns.
We have count nouns and count nouns. Okay? Count nouns are nouns that you can count. You can count one by one, and there are count nouns.
Or nouns that can be counted. For example, 1 potato, an onion, 2 bottles, 3 students, 5 mangoes, and so on. On the other hand, non-count nouns cannot be counted. Salt, sugar, music, news. Can you count them? Can time, water, or rice be counted? The answer is no, so they are all non-count nouns. Count nouns, of course, have a plural form. Plural means more than one, and adding an S, as in 5 bananas, is the regular way to make plurals. Regular here means it is the normal or usual way to make plurals. However, there are some regular nouns where we need to add ES or IES when we are spelling them. In the case of nouns ending in S, SH, CH, X, or Z, we would add ES to make a plural. For example, 2 watches, 3 buses, 5 dishes. For nouns ending in the letter O, we can either add S, as in photos, or an ES, as in tomatoes. So be careful with words ending in O. For plural nouns that end in Y, we need to change the Y to an I and then add ES. So no more Y, add IES. Some examples of words ending in IES are babies, parties, and strawberries. No more Y there. Now you use IES for a plural. Also, you don't need to change Y into IES for proper nouns or family last names, for example, like Murphy, in which case just add an S, making Murphys. However, other nouns have irregular spellings. Irregular means they are not normal, as we do not add S, ES, or IES. Instead, we have to change the whole word. Be careful with these ones. For example, person changes to people. Foot changes to feet, not foots. Child becomes children. Mouse becomes mice. and man changes to men, as woman changes to women. These are called irregular plurals, and there is no rule for them. You just have to learn them. But don't worry, there aren't too many. There are some nouns that don't need to be changed at all. For example, I see 4 sheep. Other examples include deer and fish. Next, we come to the articles a, an, and the. So for count nouns, if we are talking about only one, we say a. For example, a cookie. For any count noun beginning with a vowel, like a, e, I, o, or u, we say an, such as an orange. So it would be a banana, an apple, because apple begins with a vowel. We say a or an when we are not being specific. Specific means a particular thing. For example, I want ice cream and I want strawberry ice cream specifically. So if you are not specific about which cookie you want, and any cookie is okay, you may say, please give me a cookie. However, if you are specific about the cookie you want, the article the must be used. As in, please give me the chocolate cookie. Not that cookie, not that one, the chocolate one. You may also put the in front of non-count nouns. For example, the meat is fresh, or the music is great. Other specific words you may hear are this and that. For example, I want this one over here and not that one over there. However, please be careful when you are talking about more than one. The word this becomes these. For example, how much are these 4 books? The word that changes to those. Those people are my friends. So this is here, these are here too. That is over there, and those are over there. If it's here, this. If it's over there, that. These, those. We move on now to quantifiers, which are words like some, lots of, and few, which tell the quantity of something. Quantity means amount, or how much of something there is. For example, maybe we want to know if there is any cake left. So we may ask the question, is there any cake left? We may, of course, want a more specific answer about the amount of cake, and then we may ask, how much cake is there? If there is no cake left, we repeat the question word any and answer, there isn't any cake left. If there is only a little cake, of course, the answer is, there is a little cake left. For more than a little, we say some, as in, there is some cake left. For a large amount of cake, we say, there is a lot of cake, or there is lots of cake. For count nouns, we have to make some changes. First, when making the sentence, we have to change the be verb is to are. For example, are there any bananas left? Or we may ask, how many bananas are there? No bananas left? Then say, there aren't any bananas left. For some bananas, answer, there are some bananas. For a large amount, answer, there are a lot of bananas, or there are lots of bananas. It's only when there is a small amount of bananas that we must say a few instead of a little, as in, there are a few bananas. Please note that a few means a small amount, but if we drop the and just say few, now we mean an even smaller amount. For example, few people are over 100 years old. It's the same story for a little and little. A little money refers to a small amount of money, while little money, with no refers to a very small amount of money. Well, that brings us to the end of
Book 2, Unit 5.
Thank you.
Okay. This was a review for your test. Your test is Thursday. Su test es el día jueves, ¿sí? Y una de las tareas, a ver, van a ingresar a la plataforma y van a realizar todas las actividades que tienen pendientes de la unidad 5, ¿sí? De la unidad 5. Como a mí me refleja cuánto tiempo ha estado usted y cuánto ha completado, qué porcentaje, solo en porcentaje me refleja, ¿sí? De todas las actividades que usted ha realizado y también del review que usted tiene que hacer después de aquí nosotros tenemos el review. Entonces usted ingresa al libro y aquí le van a salir las unidades. Vamos a la unidad 5, va a realizar las actividades, va a realizar el review test, le da clic, hace el review test, ¿sí? Y el día jueves yo les voy a tomar la prueba acerca de la unidad 5, ¿sí? ¿Listo? ¿Alguna pregunta?
Listen,